Hello, welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. Today I wanted to do another love reading. It's been a while since I was able to do one. So, with the love readings, I like to start out with the other person's energy and the viewer's energy and look into that. And if that resonates for you, then this is your video. And we'll look into the connecting energy, their energy towards you, your energy towards them. Sometimes I look at past, present, and future to get more context, and then I'll do like a deeper look into the other person. So yeah, I like to just kind of give an example or representation of, like, if you book a love reading with me, this is kind of like how I approach it or how I look at it in order to gather like all sides of the um, situation, right? You get all the different perspectives here to kind of look into what's going on. That was a lot of spirit. Ooh, so on the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So for the other person, we had the Queen of Swords. So the other person's in this energy of kind of like rising above their emotions. If they're going through something that's been kind of clouding their judgments or clouding their intuition, clouding their ability to think straight or to make like a clear choice, they're kind of rising up above that, um, gaining like an emotional footing. Um, yeah, finding like a common ground in some way, or they're like in the middle of making some sort of judgment call. It's like they're finally able to rise above some sort of confusion or chaos that was around them so they can see clearly and make some sort of choice or decision or some sort of judgment call. And then with the bird up here, I'm getting it's like spirit is communicating with them and like helping to guide them or helping them to see something clearly. um And it's like now that they've kind of risen above whatever they were going through that was like clouding their judgment, then they're able to like hear or see the guidance around them. And so they can like take in the information around them that's being given to them and work with their intuition and like make a clear choice or make a judgment call on something or it's like they can finally see things in the way that they need to. They finally have like the perspective, the oversight over an emotional situation that was really chaotic or confusing. And yeah, it's like now their intuition is like sharpened here. Now that they're on top of the situation, they can kind of use their past experience, right? And things they've been through in the past as a reference tool to kind of like I said, go with their intuition and make like a clear choice, or it's like they're finally able to see something the way that it is, and yeah, use the perspective of things they've been through in the past. Now that they kind of wrote, like, were able to rise above whatever was going on around them, they can see, like, oh, okay, I've been through this before. Like, I already know how to handle this, or yeah, now they're like open to be able to see or receive some sort of guidance. But yeah, like with the cloak, with the clouds, it's like they have experience in this. Like now that they've stepped out of this or they've kind of rose above like the confusion here, they've realized like they already have it's like they already have their inner knowing, their intuition already could kind of tell them what was right or what was clear. They already have experience in this type of emotional situation before, so it's like they already know what to do. They just need to like trust their intuition or trust like the signs they're being given and like make it order and like follow through uh with like their judgment or the way that they feel in some way. It's like make a call and then stand on it, like carry it out, right? Follow through. So that's what the other person's going through. With the viewer, we have the Six of Wands. So you're currently going through um, some sort of victory here, like with the way that this person is like walking away here, like on the deal. It's like this person's walking away and all these people are following. So it's like you're currently going through some sort of victory, or there's some sort of really positive light being shined on you, or it's like people are really looking up to you. Maybe it's like you kind of had to like overcome certain things, or and so then there's other people around you kind of looking up to you to see, they want to kind of like follow after you because they want to see like how how did you like get to where you are, how did you like overcome and like rise to this position. um with the Queen of Pentacles, for some reason I heard this could have been like someone else that was influencing the situation at one point, and it's like now they no longer have power or influence here, so it's like you're able to just kind of like walk away or move out of this situation like with your dignity or with like a victory in some way. um yeah, there could be someone outside the situation that's not this other person here that like had a lot of like power, or there was like a dependency, like both of you could have felt dependent on like outside influences, and now for you it's like you're able to kind of like rise above this and walk away from this like on your own. And so there's a lot of other people around you that are noticing that, or like following after you, or looking to you as an example to see kind of like how you did this or how you overcame this, or like how you turned your life around, or how you like came out of this like so strong, or how you're able to carry yourself and like move forward. There's something about the way that you carry yourself and the way that you like move forward that it causes other people to like notice you and turn their heads towards you to be like, oh, okay, it's like um you're not like dependent on others. Um so it's like you and your person are currently going through something where it's like you're able to rise above something here, and no longer be like dependent on something outside of you. So it's like before you could have felt dependent on something in order to get your needs met. Um, like in order to feel like nurtured and supported and secure, you felt as though you had to rely on some sort of something outside of yourself. So it could be like family or something. Or there was like a lack, right? Like within like your family situation or something in the past, there was some sort of like lack or poverty or like not enough, like not being able to feel nurtured and supported and taken care of. So it's like for you, you're able to just like rise above this and move forward and kind of like better yourself. So people are looking at you like, oh, like how did they do this? Like how did they like overcome this and like turn their life around? And now they look, it's like now you don't present as someone that's like lacking or in a position of lack or dependency. So it's like you have this energy that's like really drawing people in, like wondering like how did they uh, get here or overcome like some sort of circumstance they were going through, or um, yeah, again, it's something about the way you carry yourself. There's some sort of like level or layer of confidence to it there to where you're just like there, not in a bad way, but there's this energy of like knowing that you really don't need anyone else to support you, like you kind of carry yourself here, or like the way you move like speaks for itself. So that is, really causing a lot of people to be like, huh, and like um be really drawn towards this. And then for this other person, it's like they're able to like kind of rise above some sort of cloudiness or confusion around their mental state and their ability to like make a clear choice. And so now they're able to like make a judgment call or like see something the way they need to see it. So that could be how they're coming out of like being dependent or feeling like they need support from something outside of themselves in order to feel like comfortable and secure and like well taken care of. Like I was saying, it's like you're both going through that, but in like different ways. So if that sounds like you and someone that you are thinking about or dealing with, your person, Okay, so oh my goodness, we have the devil at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, yeah, with the devil, especially in this card, it's like you were both like chained to something or like bound to something. It's like you were both dependent on something. There was this feeling like, yeah, you needed some sort of support or some sort of help or assistance outside of yourself, and that was like limiting you or keeping you bound or like stuck in something. Um, so for you, it's like you were able to rise above this and move forward and like better your life in some way. And then for them, it's like they're able to also rise above something, but it's like so that they can make a clear choice or like a clear judgment call and yeah, see what's happening around them more clearly. But you guys were both in this. You were just you felt bound to something in order to be able to like I was saying, take care of yourself and continue to like move forward and be like comfortable in some way. So yeah, for you, you were able to empower yourself and like take the lead in your life and um move out of this like dependency or this like lack mindset. And so it's like the way you carry yourself is just it's just like more confident. And so then the people around you are really drawn to that. It's like even without just from your energy, the way you're carrying yourself, people aren't questioning like whether or not you're secure in some way. So that's really interesting. Like it's just your energy just like speaks for itself that you're no longer like stuck or like bound in something that's like not healthy for you here. Um, and then for this other person with the Queen of Swords, they may be coming across like kind of cold or like cutthroat right now. Like certain people in their life might be thinking like they're just acting kind of like emotionless or acting kind of cold or um, yeah, they could be being like really overly like stoic, like just not really like emotionally swayed at this time. So that could be coming across as like kind of harsh or like uncaring. But it's like they have like just finally seen something clearly, and so it's like now they're not willing to like lower themselves back down to um, a position where other people have power over them again. And so it's like they're having to go about everything in kind of like a harsh or kind of like a cold way in their own personal life here. But with your connecting energy, we have the magician, their energy towards you. We have the two of swords. And your energy towards them, we have the hangman in reverse. So with your energy with the hangman in reverse, it's like choosing not to be a victim, like choosing not to just like surrender to your circumstance or be like, okay, there's like nothing I can do about this, so I just have to like to make the best of it or just like it is what it is type of energy. It's like you're choosing to change it, do something about it, get up out of it, make a move. So that's where everybody else is kind of looking at you like, oh wow, okay, like it like the fact that you didn't choose to just like stay stuck in some way like really speaks for itself. So whatever this like outside control that I was picking up on with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse before, it's like if this was like affecting or influencing the relationship like with the magician, right? um yeah, whatever this outside energy was that was affecting the relationship, it was creating this like illusion, or this like smoke and mirrors, is distorting the relationship here. It's like uh, someone else was like pulling the strings, like someone else had power and control here, but then they were like trying to create an illusion that it was you two actually making the decisions, but really, um, you were just like kind of being controlled by this like other thing that had like these ulterior motives. So there was some sort of outside influence, like influencing each of your lives individually, which was then in, like also affecting the relationship and the dynamics of the relationship. So it's like, yeah, there was like a lot of games being played here. And for this other person, they could have been, um like with those clouds here, they could have been kind of victim to this. Like they could have been the ones kind of playing the games here because they were so distorted and they were caught up in all of this like illusion and this cloudiness here. It's like they couldn't really think clearly or see clearly. They weren't able to like listen to like spirit and the guidance around them. So they weren't able to like make good choices for themselves. And so they could have been the ones that were kind of like caught up in, um, allowing this to affect them and like play certain games here. Um, so now that they have like caught on here, and now that they're kind of rising above this, it's like they're just choosing to be kind of like cold to everybody, or just kind of shut everybody out. Um, because their energy towards you is the Two of Swords here. So it's like they don't want to, they kind of, it's like even though they see life, and they don't want to see how, that could have also affected the relationship here. Like they're waking up and they're seeing how they're being kind of like manipulated or controlled or kind of like held back by this like outside influence in their life. And so they're kind of like putting up a guard to that and like making a clear choice or like a judgment call in regards to that. But it's like they don't want to go the next step and then be like, okay, and then that's why I also saw certain things in my relationship. That's what, that way, that's why I saw the viewer from that perspective or in that light. Like that's why I did this. Like I was being kind of like manipulated here. Like there was someone else, um right, like, or there was other reasons why I like played certain games or did certain things. It's because I was, um being messed with by like other energies that I felt like I was dependent on personally, right? And so then it was causing them to like act a certain way or to play certain games, but it's like they don't want to see that. They're kind of like in denial of how like all of this. It's like right now they're in the process of like seeing, like dealing with it and like trying to, I'm seeing like cut it out of their lives or like make a change here, or like I said in the beginning, like make a judgment on, um how something is influencing them or affecting them emotionally. It's like they see things more clearly here. They're communicating with spirit, but then they don't want to like then take it the two steps further and see like, oh, okay, then that's, because my emotional state was being so affected, I wasn't able to see things clearly. Then that's why I felt like I needed to like play certain games or do certain things, or, um yeah, is like the ego is being like distorted in some ways. They're kind of like in denial of like the ways in which what was going on around them like then ultimately affected the relationship. And so then for you, it's like you just chose to, it's like you don't even care about this. Like with the Six of Wands, it's like you're literally moving forward. You may care and like you may have been affected emotionally, but it's like your energy and the way that you're perceived from the outside is like you don't even care about this. Like you're just moving on with your life and moving forward. Like with the Six of Wands, they're like going in this direction, right? And so it's like you chose not to just stay stagnant, stay stuck. You chose not to just surrender to the circumstance. It's like you could kind of see like what was going on around you, right? And so you were like, okay, this is what I need to do to like empower myself and be able to move up out of this, carry myself forward here. And so that energy is like really speaking for itself. It's like drawing people into you at this time. Because it's like, yeah, you chose not to like be a victim to this situation, which is a good thing because the other person, it's like, even though they're seeing this in their own life and they're like doing something about it for themselves within their own life and how they're being like influenced or affected mentally, emotionally within themselves, it's like, then they're not able to then put two and two together and be like, oh, okay. It's like they're just not ready to, like, their ego is not ready to, like, go through all of that right now. So it's like they're still in denial of certain things. So it's like, they're not able or ready at this time to then be like, oh, okay. That's why I felt the need, or that's why, because I was being so affected by that, then that's also why my perspective of this situation at that time was like this, is because I was also, it's like they're not realizing that like everything was under this, like the guise of the distortion of how they were seeing things at that time. And so they can't trust or rely on like anything this outside influence was giving them in regards to the relationship either. It's not just like their own selves personally. So they just maybe need more time to be able to process that or put it all together. Or maybe they'll never want to like look at how then like what they were going through personally was affecting the relationship or how they did certain things. But for you, it's like you didn't even stick around to like worry about that or care about that. Like you just chose to be like, okay, I'm not going to let this like then affect me or hold me back or like, you know, victimize myself in my life and just like allow this to affect me negatively, right? And like put you in a like a stuck space. Is like you chose to just rise above this and just move forward, is like really empowered yourself. So other people are kind of looking at that like, oh, how did she do that? Like, or they or he or whoever. um yeah, how did they like have the just like the confidence? It's like your energy is coming across really confident at this time. So people are really like, oh, how did they just like have the confidence to just walk away from that? And they're just, it's like your energy is so um like still, and you have such a strong presence at this time that people aren't doubting like if you're in a position of lack or codependency, or if you're like, you know what I mean, doing okay moving forward out of this. Like they can clearly see that you're very empowered and you're doing really well. And it's like this really positive, like people are kind of like looking to you as a leader, kind of following after you at this time, because it's like, oh, okay, wow, how did they do that? Or like, how did they have the confidence to just kind of like turn things around or like turn their life around or make a change for themselves in some way? So with the past, we have the three of swords in reverse. So it's like in the past, in the recent past here, you chose, like I was saying, you chose like not to be a victim here. So it's like even though this could have been really painful at one time, this could have been one of the most painful things you've ever went through, or it could have just been just a regular old heartbreak. But it's like you could have felt betrayed too by this like outside influence affecting this other person, or like if this other person kind of was like when the in the cloudiness and like falling for this mess that was going on and this like influence that was going on here. It's like you could have felt really betrayed by this and really hurt by this at one time. But it's like at a certain point, you chose to come out of this, or you chose to turn this around for yourself. You chose to like not like sulk in like the way that you were feeling, and to try to like do something about it, right? And so we have the hermit in reverse for the present. So it's like right now you're kind of coming out of isolation. Like you could have felt like you needed to like isolate, retreat within yourself in order to heal through the pain, right? In order to like see things clearly. But it's like now you're able to come out of that and like move forward in like put yourself out there again, like not even necessarily in relationships, but just like go out socially, like with your friends, like get together with people again, like just go out in public again, like be seen. It's like you feel okay to, yeah, put yourself out there in the world again in some way. Like you no longer feel like you need to kind of like isolate and protect yourself. Maybe you did like during your like healing process, but now you feel just like more ready to kind of like shake the dust off. And I'm also getting it's like during this whole process, it's like helped you to kind of like harness your intuition in some way. So it's like now you feel as though you can trust the other person could be kind of going through the same thing. It's like you both are now feeling like you can trust your intuition more. Or yeah, you like you feel as though you've kind of like learned from this and grown from this, and now you're a little bit more emotionally mature, and so you'll be able to kind of feel things out or sense things that are good for you or not in the future moving forward. So you feel as though it's kind of like safe to put yourself out there again and be vulnerable again because you feel like you'll be able to just kind of like intuitively sense or feel or know like if something is like good for you or if something's right or like a good idea or if you're going in the right direction or it's like yeah you feel less afraid that you're going to be like deal with like disillusion or like people trying to like mess with you and kind of deter you on your path or just like yeah kind of stumbling like following after the wrong people or being led in the wrong direction. It's like you trust like your intuition to kind of like guide you uh more at this time. You feel like you really learned and grown from this situation a lot, so it's just like safer for you to put yourself out there to go out in the world again in some way, right? um So moving forward, we have in the future, we have the Page of Wands and the Three of Wands. So it's like moving forward, it's like you want to like learn how to, you're kind of going on this journey of like learning how to be vulnerable again and learning how to open yourself up again, but it's like you're just starting out. And so what I'm seeing with the threes is like you have a strong desire to kind of like travel to a lot of different places, and you do have a strong desire to like meet new people and to like blend new people into your life. Like it could be like friends, you want to like connect with more people, more friends, like just blend more social like scenarios in your life. So it's like you want to travel to like meet people or you have this desire to like merge your life with another person's, but it's like you're just going out on this journey of like learning how to be vulnerable again and like open up to someone again with all of this new like wisdom and information that you've learned from all of this stuff that you had to go through here. um but it's like you have a desire to like connect with others again and like be around other people again. Like if you really had to isolate yourself to heal for a long time, it's like now you have a strong desire to like get together with others and like meet up with others, like travel to visit others or have other people come visit you or just kind of like merge yourself into like more social scenarios that involve like other people or I'm hearing it's like meeting up with like people that you haven't met up with in a long time, like getting together with people you haven't seen or talked to or hung out with in a long time. It's like merging. It's like you maybe have like this one friend group you used to talk to a long time ago, you don't really talk to anymore, and then this other friend group as well. And it's like you have this desire to like maybe get all of them together in at once or something. It's like to like blend all these different like aspects of your life that you haven't really had contact or touch with in a long time. But it's like now that you're on this like new journey here, it's like you feel like you could open yourself up again to like new experiences and also like connections that you've had like in the past. It's just something I'm kind of like hearing. Also, though, it's like this desire to like travel, to like go places, to kind of like go out on a journey here, like to visit like foreign different places that you've never visited before or something with like the purple mountains. It's like, yeah, this desire to kind of like go and see things you've never seen before, do things you've never done before. There's this desire to kind of like meet someone and merge your life with them and then travel to like new and different like unexplored places, like places that neither one of you have ever been to before, and like make new memories with someone new, right? It's like to take that start and to start making those. I just got this image of like meeting someone new and then like starting a scrapbook of like all the places that you visit together, and it's like you try to go to new and different places that like neither one of you have ever been to before. So we're going to do just a closer look at the other person that was in the reading. So we'll look at where they're at, where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, and their thoughts and feelings. Oof. So we have the Ten of Swords, the bottom of the deck. So this could have been like a really painful ending, like I said. Could have felt like a betrayal or like a backstabbing. It could have just came like all at once. Like yeah, okay, we like with the magician, it's like they were kind of like playing games, or it's like things seemed a little bit off, or like they seemed like there could be more going on than that was being presented, or maybe things seemed too good to be true at certain times, like and then it was like all at once really swiftly. Everything kind of like came down at once, or everything kind of like came out at once, or everything happened like all like in one swoop here. So it's like it was just like a really harsh ending. Yeah, it happened all at once, and then like once it was done, it was done. And it felt like a huge betrayal here, like a huge backstabbing. Could have just been like really painful for both parties, or like I said, it was just this really solidified. It's like whatever happened, it was this like really clear understanding that was like all at once. There was suddenly like no coming back from this, right? Like, um, It just created like a significant and painful ending here that really it could have felt like a huge stab in the back in some way, or like you were really betrayed in some way, blindsided, right? So we have the Knight of Wands in reverse for the other person. So right now in their lives, so what I'm getting from this is like they could kind of have a temper, right? They could be the type of person who kind of has a temper and kind of like runs with their emotions. Like they get really passionate really quickly, and it's hard for them to kind of tame that down. Like they get really hot and really worked up. So they, what I'm getting is like they're really trying to work on this. They're really trying to like calm their temper down. It's like they recognize that a lot of the issues in their life just stem from them being kind of like immature here and just getting like really worked up or being really driven by their passions. So it's like they can get really swayed by just like the way that they feel in the moment, and then just kind of like go with that and like run with that. And sometimes it's just based off of like a really, really intense desire, like a fleeting desire, right? So it's like they're trying to work on this and trying to like chill. They're trying to chill out and like calm down, chill out, like not create as much chaos around them, or not like create as many like arguments around them, is something I heard. Like, yeah, they're trying to like be nicer and like get along with the people around them like better, not come across like so dry and so rough. Um yeah, they don't want to like hurt others with like their passions, or like with the intensity of the way that they feel anymore. Like they don't want it to kind of like spill over and like brush off on others and like burn others or like hurt others with kind of like what they're going through. So I'm also getting like they could be kind of like retreating within themselves, like when they feel really emotional or when they feel really intense emotions coming up. It's like they're just kind of like retreating within themselves instead of like opening up and sharing it to others, because like they don't want to hurt others or burden others in some way. Like they don't want what they're going through to kind of like spill over and affect like other people. So they're trying to not be like overly led by their passions and their desires. They feel like it just ends up like hurting the people around them in some way. So they're trying to, right now, with what they're doing, they're trying to find like emotional fulfillment. They're trying to find like a sense of happiness, right? They're trying to like figure out what they want, or like what is true to them, what would make them happy, what would fulfill them. And they're trying to figure out like what is it that they truly want out of life, and what would make them feel like satisfied and fulfilled with like what they're doing, what they're working on, with their relationships, with just everything that's around them. Like they're trying to figure out um, what makes them happy. Like whoever had so much influence on them in the relationship could have really like, it's like now the other person had so much influence over like their emotional state. Like everything was so cloudy and distorted around them that there was so much they couldn't see. So that could translate to themselves too. Like there was so much, it's like they don't even know what they want or what makes them happy, or like what is really them, or like what is really their desires, how they want like their environment around them to truly look like, what would really make them happy. um yeah, because they were just so influenced or like led by like others or someone else in some way. So it's like now they're trying to like fulfill themselves, or do what would make them happy, or what like feels right to them, or what would really satisfy them, or what they would like look back on and be like content, satisfied, proud of, like in the work that they're doing or putting out, or something that they're creating. um with what they're doing, we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. So um, they've made some sort of like clear choice in their life. Like they may have had a lot of different options as far as like what they could do, or like what work they were in, or what direction they were going to go in, where they were going to live, people they were going to hang out with, something they were going to invest in, etc. And it's like they made a clear choice on something in some way. So let's get like one clarifying card actually on that. Oh, Knight of Pentacles. So it's like they have made a clear choice. They have something that they are like wanting to focus on. And so they have a goal that they're moving towards, and they're working towards it. Even if it's like slowly, there might not be a lot of progress right now because they're moving towards it really slowly, but they have a goal that they're working towards, and they want to be able to like be in a position to like have something to offer. So it's like they made a choice to like focus on um they made a choice in their work in some way, or they made a choice in like something that they want to focus on here, so that they can be able to move forward in a more stable way, right? To have something to build from. But it's this really slow moving, but it's very like thought out and practical here. But it's like they made a really clear choice. They're no longer entertaining any other options. It's they have this like clear direction that they want to go, and they have a clear goal that they want to be able to present themselves in a certain way. And so they're like cutting out any other options or distractions here, so that they can just like move forward towards like the choice they made, or like the goal they made in some way. So yeah, they were showing up as the Queen of Swords before. So it's like now that they rose above this, they're able to see things clearly. It's like they're making some sort of judgment call or some sort of choice, like I was saying. And so it's like now they're just really dedicated to moving forward in some way, even if it's going to take them a while here. They feel like they have to kind of like take their time here. It's like, yeah, they don't want to be distracted by anything else. They would rather like um, take the time to like go through a certain process to do something right, instead of like getting distracted by the appearance of having like all of these options around them in some way. So the outside influence on the relationship could have been like kind of telling them like, oh, like, so yeah, whoever was influencing their life so much could have been clouding their judgment and telling them like, oh, don't just settle down, or don't just pick one person, like you have all these other options, like entertain other people, or like date around, or just like encourage them in some way to like play the field, or to like look to their options in some way, or to do they woke up and realized like they were doing something or acting in some way based off of like other people kind of influencing them here, when in all reality it's like the choice was really clear to them on exactly what they do want and what would make them happy. And so it's like they want to like move forward towards their goal here, and they don't want to like get distracted by any outside influences. But that could have been specifically what this like that outside party, the devil, Queen of Pentacles in reverse influence, was really like encouraging them to continue to like keep their options open in some way, or yeah, just like go about things in a way that was just like playing a lot of games, like could have been advising them to like date around, like play games as far as like date other people, and see how they react type of games, like pit certain options that you have against each other and see how each of them react, or like to put all of these different options through certain tests, or like play certain games with them and see how they react. Or like someone was like giving them this really toxic advice that was like really clouding their judgment and their perspectives. They weren't able to like think clearly or make a clear choice. But now that they have like removed themselves from that, or like cut themselves away from that, and they're trying to like be a little bit more mature here, and not let like their passions and like being so fleeting by their passions and their desires, it's like they don't want to like hurt others or affect others like that anymore. And so to them it's like this really clear choice about how to like move forward in a more um, in a way with like integrity, right? It's like more humility, um, also more kindness, right? So it's like they're no longer letting this outside influence cloud their like judgment and their perspective on how they want to like show up in their relationships. It's like they don't want their passions here to like hurt others or affect others anymore. They feel like it's really clear to them what they how they should go about things moving forward and what choice they should make in order to make themselves happy, or like they it's really clear to them what choice they should make in order to be the most like emotionally fulfilled or satisfied, or it's like really clear to them which choice is the most in alignment with them like on an emotional level, the thing that's going to like fill them up and make them feel the most complete. It's like even if that takes a little bit more time and effort to go about things in that way, it's like worth the time and effort, right? To have something that makes you feel like truly happy, truly satisfied, like truly like whole. Whereas like chasing after every little like fleeting desire and passion doesn't like fill them up and make them feel whole and like fulfilled and satisfied in the way that like others were trying to influence them to make them think that it should or it would, right? So they're realizing like, yeah, like what true happiness is, like how to move forward towards that, what's going to actually satisfy them the most, like the choices that they're going to have to make, the things they're going to have to cut out here. It's like really clear to them like what the choice is in order for them to be have the most like emotional fulfillment and satisfaction here, be able to move forward in the most practical and grounded way, right? So they want to be able to offer security, and so and be really like stable and committed and not like wishy-washy on their choices. I feel like that's what's going to make them really happy here. So they feel as though yeah, it might take a little bit longer, or they may have to like do things um just a little bit differently in order to build that proper foundation, but they feel like it's worth the extra like worth and extra effort is like worth it, right? um so their energy towards you, we have justice in reverse, the hanged man, their thoughts and their feelings, we have the high priestess in reverse. So just like I was saying before with their energy towards you being the two of swords, it's like even though they're going through all of this stuff in their life and they're having all of these realizations, and it's um all unfolding for them the way that it is, and they realize they need to make different choices in their relationships and go about things differently and be more committed and practical here. It's like they are going to try and do that, be like that moving forward. But for you, like when they think about you and like what happened here in this situation, they feel like it's over. Like they feel like there's no coming back from this. Like this could have been really painful here. So it's like they either feel like what they did to you was like so bad that you're like not going to take them back, and so they just have to like surrender to like what happened here, or they just feel like maybe this could have hurt them so bad, like something about this like really hurt them and made them feel betrayed in some way, or so, or they just feel like there's like no coming back from this ending here. Yeah, like you could have just felt really like stabbed in the back by this, or like they could like realize how messed up this was towards you, like the way that this other person was influencing them. They could realize like the actions that they made towards you were just like so wrong that they feel like there's no coming back from this. So it's like they can't necessarily revive things with you, but like moving forward, they can try to be better and try to have like more integrity in the way they treat others. So it's like with you, they're not really, at this time, they're not making any sort of an effort to like come forward and like make a change here or um, make things right or like turn things around. It's like when they think about this situation, they feel like there's nothing that they can do about it. Like they feel like they just have to kind of like surrender to the way that it is like they feel like, well, I made my bed or like I did this and so I just have to deal with it. It's like they're just assuming that you probably like hate them and there's like no coming back from this. And it's like they, even if they like with the high priestess in reverse with their feelings, it's like even if they still feel really passionately towards you or they still feel really strongly towards you, or there's a part of them that feels like they could like let it go or move on from it, it's like they are like blocking themselves off from that because they're just like assuming that there's like nothing they can do about it. Like it's like too late, like you would never take them back, or like, yeah, there's like no way to be able to revive it here. It's just like things like went too far. Like there's in some sense there's like no coming back from like how things ended or what happened here. And so it's like even if they still have really strong feelings here, they're just choosing to ignore that or to like not let that like be a factor in like how they move forward. They're just kind of like they're kind of like stuffing down the way that they feel, and just choosing to tell themselves like a certain story or certain narrative in order to kind of like make themselves feel better, so they don't have to like feel super guilty about it. Like they're just kind of like, okay, it is what it is, like take that one on the chin and move forward and like be better next time. Like they're just choosing to surrender to um, however it is or like whatever happened here instead of like go back and try to clear things up or like make things right or like fix it in a certain sense. Um, so that's interesting. Hmm. So we have needing to keep yourself safe, protect yourself, venting, talking about your issues, setting the record straight, and then expecting new beginning at the bottom of the deck. Um, so it's kind of funny that these two cards came out. Right away when I saw the venting card, I was like, that's interesting because I don't think they really are venting. I think so with the nail polish here. It's like, you know, when you go to the nail salon, you hear all the gossip. They feel like that was a mistake. Like they feel like whoever this like Queen of Pentacles figure that was influencing them so much or having so much influence over their emotional state, they feel as though if they wouldn't have opened up to this person so much, then they wouldn't have like given them so much, if that makes sense. Like they wouldn't have like had so much knowledge or insight, or like, yeah, they just feel like they shouldn't have like said so much or like vented so much in some way. And so now um I feel like they're not doing this now. Like now they're like keeping to themselves more. Um yeah, now they're not in this energy of like telling people what's going on or telling people what's the tea, because then they're realizing then it just gives the other people like tools or like, yeah, fuel, if you will, to like be able to kind of like have influence or power over their life or their relationship dynamics in some ways. Like they, if they know too much, it's like they give them the fuel that they need to be able to like have the influence in some way. So they're not doing this anymore. Is what I'm getting. It's like they learned that lesson. So they're like cutting out these influences. But it's like with you, they're just kind of like, okay, well, lesson learned. Like, I'm going to try to do things different next time. But they feel like it just is what it is. Like, there's nothing that they can really do about like the situation with you in particular. They just have to kind of like surrender to how it is or like what happened, and then just try to like do better, or like not do something in a certain type of way, like in their next relationship moving forward. Um, and then again, with the setting the record straight, it's interesting that this came out because I feel like this is not what they're doing. Like when it comes to you in particular, it's like they don't feel the need to come in and like set the record straight or like clear things up. It's like they're choosing this approach of just like, okay, well, like um in the future, I'm just going to make adjustments or try and learn from that, or like do things differently, right? Learn my lesson there. But it's not like they're going to like go back and then like set the record straight with you to be like, oh, okay, well, now I understand why I was acting like that in my relationships. And I'm sorry that that affected you, you know? Um, but you're in this energy of just like empowering yourself and rising forward and just moving out of it. So maybe they feel like they don't need to for some reason, or maybe they feel triggered by the way that you just like rose up, and you could see that you needed to like protect yourself from this, and you just like rose up and move forward out of this situation. And you really didn't let this affect you, and you're able to just like move forward in a really confident way and just carry yourself out of this, um, seemingly unharmed here, right? And so, yeah, maybe there's some bit of their ego that then feels like they don't need to like go in and set the record straight because you were just like able to empower yourself and take care of yourself and move forward anyways. That could like bother them in some sense, is something that I'm hearing. They like don't want to like give it to you in some way, which is interesting. Um, and then with this expecting card, this could be confirmation. Like if this is something that you want, like if you want this type of a new beginning in your life, it's like the way that you just kind of like empowered yourself and move forward. It's like you are like attracting and manifesting a new beginning in some way. It's like whatever you're really trying to attract into your life, because you chose to like close out this cycle or end this cycle and move forward without it like affecting you or harming you. So it's like you're calling in your next chapter, right? Your next new start. And so that's going to be um it's not necessarily like a child specifically. Like anytime we're like move into our next phase, we're like birthing something new in our lives, right? And so whatever that looks like or means to you, or however that resonates for you in your life. Ooh, talisman. So, and then we have air, the bottom. So I'll read both of those for you. Logic, critical thinking, facts, information, research, and reasoning are required at this time. You may also need more information before proceeding. Drawing this card asks you to call on the element of air to help you in finding healthy resolutions. We have Talisman. The talisman represents new doors opening for you now. New pathways are present at this time. It also invites you to find or create and charge an appropriate symbol, amulet, or mantra to help support your current endeavors or healing. Empower this talisman with your intention to invoke its magic in your everyday life. Protection needed. It is vital at this time to protect your energy field as others may be projecting negative energy onto you. You may also be in an environment for which you are absorbing negative vibes that are draining you. Call in Archangel Michael for protection and to clear your energy field. Having a practice of grounding and putting a protective bubble around you every day will be helpful. So yeah, that's the bottom of the deck. So I definitely feel like you picked up on this, right? So it's like that's why you kind of had to like do like get up and do something about this and make a move here, right? It's like you could really sense something. Stuck energy alignment. Your body is requiring energy work to get back in alignment by balancing your chakras and clearing your auric field. You have stuck energy that can be caused by holding on to pain or having resistance to let new energy flow in. Get grounded and reconnect to your body once again. We're also gonna get one. Embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. Spiritual connection. This relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. That's interesting because then at the bottom of the deck we have the union of hearts. There's a connection of love that defies explanation. So yeah, I feel like for one, like you and this person could have past life connection or some sort of like soulmate type of connection, where you've like been together in past lives or you made some sort of agreement or contract to come together at this time in this life. um, so that could be, just a lot of what drew you guys together, what kept you in the situation. um, but also you could be, coming into contact soon, um, with a really spiritual connection, like choosing to move out of this situation and kind of like empower yourself and move forward is helping you to move towards a more spiritual connection that you've been kind of like it's like your soul or your spirit has been kind of calling out to and like trying to call this in here. And it's like now you're finally open and ready to receive it. Now that you've like ended this cycle and walked away, empowered yourself in some way, it's like now you're on the same level to be able to call in this like more spiritual connection that's going to be really in alignment with your like soul's journey and your soul's path here, right? Whereas this other connection was like learning a lot of lessons here about how to free yourself from things when they're no longer serving you or working for you in the ways that you thought that they would, right? Yeah, but don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. Definitely, right? It's like um, some situations or relationships that we're involved in are going to make us feel like it's like wrong or bad to feel the way that we do. And life is about having the confidence and the love for yourself to move forward and put yourself out there to meet and connect with the people that do see you for who you are and aren't, there's other people that are longing for a heart like yours, right? So if certain people didn't appreciate you or didn't see you or didn't um, respect like the type of love and care that you give, it's like don't ever judge yourself or dim your light or like shove yourself down or feel bad about the way that you show up in relationships. There's going to be other people out there when you're able to empower yourself and move forward. It's like you're going to draw in people that have the same level of self-confidence that you do, so they're not on that vibe of messing with people like that energetically, manipulating people emotionally, like that type of weird stuff here. Like there's people out there, like I said, that are like longing for a heart like yours or someone who um, is more sensitive, right? Or feels things more intensely or whatever it is, like however you show up in relationships. If you're just like a more sensitive spiritual person, there's going to be another partner out there for you that's also a more sensitive spiritual person. You don't need to like judge yourself, dim your light, or shove parts of who you are down in order to more comfortably fit in these other spaces where these other people don't even have good or genuine intentions for you anyways, right? It's like if you can have the confidence and the security within yourself to just move forward, then you're going to like find and attract those relationships and connections in your life that are more spiritual and in alignment with your heart and your sensitivity and the energy that you put out, right? Because especially because like right we were seeing like right now at this time, people are really drawn in towards you or really like looking at you as kind of like, oh, how did they continue to stay true to themselves and be themselves but then still be successful. So it's like other people are going to start to look to you as an example or kind of follow after you to see like how you did certain things for yourself and want to make those same changes or shifts for themselves. Or it's like inspiring others to um, embrace those more sensitive, emotional, spiritual parts of who they are as well, rather than hiding it away or squashing that part of themselves down in some way or just like being in denial of like who they truly are in some ways. Like having an example of someone else who kind of like stands in their power, stands in their light. It's like if something doesn't work for you or doesn't serve you or doesn't fit into who you are, it's like you just move forward towards something that does. And that's not something that a lot of people do. Like a lot of people will like um, mold themselves to try and accommodate or change themselves to try and accommodate like the spaces around them, because they're so desperate to like have connection or belonging or to have certain relationships in their life rather than being confident to just like go out on your own. So it's kind of like this trendsetter type of energy to just have the confidence to be like, okay, this isn't serving me, this isn't working for me, this is putting me in like a lower vibration here, this isn't matching up with me in the way that I thought it would, so I'm just going to move forward and not let this like affect me or tear me down. It's like you don't like lower yourself into like the drama of what's going on. You just like rise above it and just move forward and just like better your life, and that shows and reflects in your energy. So um yeah, you don't like stick around in situations that don't serve you just to like go through these like cycles or these drama cycles that like you're not going to really get anything out of. And so that like speaks for itself, right? Other people just kind of see that and they're like, oh, okay, how do I start to build that for myself? Or how do I call in that type of power, energy, confidence for myself in my own life? How do I continue to move forward out of things and always do like what's best for me, right? And take care of myself, keep myself safe. So yeah, it's like there's like a light shining on you, like the wisdom that you've gained is like really reflecting outward. And so a lot of people are drawn in towards you, like wanting to know, like, what is your secret? Like, how did you do it? How did you like protect yourself and remove yourself and kind of like rise above it, come out on top in your own way, be able to just like move forward and be like unaffected or unbothered by these certain things, right? Instead of sticking around and making yourself a victim to these other situations that were just trying to kind of like steal your power or like um, manipulate the direction that you were going in some way. It's like you just went out on your own, regardless of how anyone else was like affected by it in some way. But it was like a positive thing, like yeah, not allowing yourself to be held down or like manipulated, like with the devil, right? It's like not allowing yourself to be like restricted or yeah, held down or debilitated by some sort of influence around you or outside of you, right? Which is a good thing. We should all be in our power and we're all in charge of our own lives and we can all do what's best for us. And some people just get on this weird, like, liking to have control over like the lives of the people around them, makes them feel more secure within themselves. They kind of project that out. So it's always a plus when we can just like move forward and just remove ourselves from that and just go on our own journey and not even let that affect us. Like that's always a win, always a power move. Slay, go off, support it. I think it's great. So yeah, that's all I have for this reading. Thank you so much if you watched this far. I really appreciate it. And if this resonated with you or you want something that's like more personal, you can click the link in my description and book a reading with me. I hope you have a really great day.